in a world where marriage is often treated as a contract that can be cancelled, the Catholic Church dares to say something radical. Marriage is a sacrament, not just a social arrangement, not just romance, not just a legal bond. Marriage, in God's design, is a path to holiness, a school of love, a road that leads souls to heaven. Today, many people ask, why do marriages fail? Why does love grow cold? Why do vows feel heavy instead of joyful? The answer is not that marriage is broken. The answer is that we have forgotten what marriage truly is. This video will change the way you see marriage forever. Not as a burden, but as a divine calling. Marriage did not begin in a church. It began in Eden. In Genesis, God looks at Adam and says, "It is not good that the man should be alone." Genesis 2 verse 18. Marriage is God's remedy for loneliness. Not just emotional loneliness, but spiritual loneliness. When God created Eve, He did not create her as a servant or property, but as a partner, bone of Adam's bone, flesh of his flesh. Jesus Himself confirms this divine plan when He says, "What God has joined together, let no man put asunder." Matthew 19 verse 6. Marriage is not a human invention. It is a divine union sealed by God Himself. The Catholic Church teaches that marriage is one of the 7 sacraments. Why? Because it was instituted by Christ, confers sanctifying grace, is a visible sign of an invisible reality. According to the Catechism of the Catholic Church, CCC 1601, the matrimonial covenant, by which a man and a woman establish between themselves a partnership of the whole of life, is by its nature ordered toward the good of the spouses and the procreation and education of offspring. Marriage is not just about happiness. It is about holiness. Through marriage, God gives spouses the grace to love when it is hard, to forgive when it hurts, to remain faithful when feelings fade. This grace is not symbolic. It is real. St. Paul reveals the deepest mystery of marriage in Ephesians 5. Husbands, love your wives, as Christ loved the church and gave Himself up for her. This is not poetic language. It is sacramental truth. Marriage mirrors Christ's total self-gift, the Church's faithful response. A love that suffers, forgives, and endures. The husband is called to lay down his life. The wife is called to receive and respond with love. This mutual self-giving becomes a living sermon to the world. When lived faithfully, a Catholic marriage preaches Christ without words. Let me tell you a story. There was a married couple, faithful Catholics, who struggled deeply, not with scandal, but with silence. They prayed together less. They spoke kindly less. Love became duty. One night, after a painful argument, the husband went to the chapel. He knelt before the blessed sacrament and whispered, "Lord, I don't know how to love her anymore." And in the silence of that chapel, he understood something powerful. Marriage is not about feeling in love. It is about choosing to love. The next day, he apologized, not because he felt right, but because grace gave him strength. Slowly, their marriage healed, not by emotion, but by sacramental grace. This is the power of marriage lived in Christ. Every sacrament has a cross. Marriage includes sacrifice, patience, daily dying to self. The Catechism, CCC 1642, teaches, Christ is the source of this grace. He abides with them, gives them the strength to take up their crosses. There is no resurrection without the cross. And there is no holy marriage without sacrifice. When spouses embrace the cross together, they walk the same road to heaven. Marriage is not an obstacle to holiness. It is a vocation to sainthood. Many saints were married. Saint Louis and Saint Célie Martin, Blessed Luigi and Maria Beltram Quattrochi. They proved that holiness can flourish. In kitchens, in bedrooms, in family struggles. A holy marriage becomes a domestic church. a place where souls are formed for eternity. Marriage is not about perfection. It is about perseverance. It is love purified by grace, strengthened by sacrifice, and crowned by eternity. If marriage is lived as God intended, it does not end at death. It leads to heaven.